Hello and welcome to the Self-Reliance Outfitters channel. I'm Matt Mercer, instructor for the Pathfinder School and the founder of the Black Hat Bushcraft channel here on YouTube. Today I wanted to share with you a quick tip on how to make a useful set of tongs for your camp. And this is a neat little bushcrafty type project, something that's useful, especially around the fire when you're cooking. Simple to do. Let's get started on this project right now. Now that I have a decent piece of material to work with, what I want to do is baton this down the middle. And I don't want to split it all the way through, so I'm going to be very delicate with this. And my goal is to split it only about 3/4 of the way down, roughly. I'm going to be very careful not to split this thing all the way out. I'm going to be very delicate with that. It's better to go slow and not ruin your piece of material. It looks pretty good actually, right there. So up close you can see what this looks like a little better. I'm just split this down roughly 3/4 of the way. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can adjust that as we go, but this is the beginning of our tongs. Now this is the leftover from that branch that I cut my tongs off of, and what I'm going to do is just come in here and create a little bit of a flat. Not taking off too much material, just enough to make it flat. And now what I'm going to do is use my saw to cut about 2 inches, 1.5 inches. Nothing about this is perfect science. And I just have a small little piece here. And with that, I'm going to take my knife and carefully baton that about halfway in two. So just down the center line of that little piece of material. Perfect. And now what I have is just a small little wedge. Now at this point we have our tongs, which we've batoned into a piece of maple to create. We have this matching wedge, and what happens is the wedge goes down in the split to pry these two pieces apart, and that'll give you somewhat of a spring effect to make your tongs function. However, if we go ahead and wedge this down in here, it's just going to split out all the way through, and that'll render these tongs ineffective. So we have to put what's called a common whipping on the back of this, and to do that I'm simply going to use a piece of number 36 bank line, and I've measured off roughly 24 inches of that. And what I'm going to do is take what's called a bite in the cordage, just a bend in the cordage, and that'll give us a loop, and I'm going to put that right here at the very back end of my tongs, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is pinch that with my thumb and use the long end, or what we call the working end of this, to just wrap around itself and climb back up the base of my tongs. All right, so I'm just wrapping it around. I'm snugging it up, but I'm not trying to cinch it too tight. You'll see why in just a moment. I'll need just a little bit of give in this. I'm just wrapping it around until I run out of cordage, and that's about it right there. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is take that last little tail end of my cordage and run it into that loop that we created. Okay, so I've run that little tail right into the loop, and now I'm going to grab this original tail end right here, and I'm going to cinch that. And what that's going to do is pull this tail end of the cordage up underneath all of my wraps. And that's going to cinch everything down really nice and tight. And so this is a close-up of what that looks like now that it's all cinched together. And as you can see, that will stop that split from traveling up any further. Now I just simply take my knife, trim the tail off of this bank line. That's just to give it a finished look. Now that we have a nice whipping on our tongs, we can put our wedge in place, and all that is a matter of just taking this and pressing it down, and that's going to split this wood on out to meet that whipping. You can see how that's opened things up here. And that's it. That's not going to split past that whipping. That bank line will hold it in place. Now you can see what we have is a pair of tongs that we can actually operate fairly easily. So just that quick and easy, you could see I was able to create a very functional little set of tongs to use around my camp. let's say I'm cooking around the fire or whatever, these are perfect for flipping food in the pan. Maybe you're cooking up some bacon or something. These are just perfect for that. And again, this is a nice little project, gives you some practice working with your knife, allows you to practice tying a very useful knot with that common whipping. And I guarantee if you make these in your camp, you'll find 100 uses for them. They're just a very functional little tool and a nice little bushcraft project that you can work on. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to come over and check out my personal channel, which is Black Hat Bushcraft here on YouTube. And there's a lot of videos there like this and just tons of content related to bushcraft, survival, and the great outdoors. I'd be honored if you come over and check out some of my videos. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to visit the Self-Reliance Outfitters channel here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell to stay notified of all of our upcoming quick tip videos. And there'll be many more to come from David Canterbury, Shawn Kelly of Corporals Corner, Josh Enyart, the gray-bearded Green Beret, Kevin Baxter of Salty Dog Outdoors, and of course myself, Matt Mercer from Black Hat Bushcraft. From all of us here at the Pathfinder School, we thank you, and we look forward to talking to you with another video very soon. Take care, and be safe.